Hi travelers, Tara here, and this is just a quick video. I'm not going to be reading cards, but I just wanted to kind of drop a little bug in your ear. It is this Mercury retrograde. This is an alert, nothing to be panicky about, but for those of you who don't understand how I do astrology, and you hear me talk a lot about astrology. And astrology is simply the study of how what happens in the heavens has an effect here on Earth. So regardless of what planet is in retrograde, you want to look at the things that that planet rules, right? Then you want to see where he's going to be, that planet will be retrograding. Whatever sign or whatever house will be the area of life that is going to be affected. So I was talking to my loan officer this morning, and I was like, oh my God, my nerves are like spaghetti because, hi Blanca, if you're watching this, because I was like, I'm trying to close this deal underneath the Mercury retrograde. And I just have this sense that right at the moment when I'm about to close, which is July 26th, that there's going to be some kind of hiccup. I was like, there's some kind of wild card that I don't know what it is yet. And so this is why I try to stress to those of you who listen to me that you can't stop living life or doing the things that you need to do when the planets are doing something wonky. This is where a second or a third set of eyes, you go out, you get that, what do you call it? That expert advice that you can. So I'm rather confident that the people that I'm dealing with in terms of the loan officer, the inspections, the real estate agent, I am very confident that with all of their skills and knowledge, that they know what they're doing. And so I'm leaving that, what I don't know, to the experts, okay? But there's a wild card, and we also have this full moon. Mercury comes out of retrograde status July 31st. That's just a few days after I'm supposed to sign. But full moons can also hide things as well. And so she goes, when she emailed me back, she goes, well, the wild card is the appraiser. We haven't done the appraisal yet. And I thought, holy smokes, I forgot all about the appraisal. And then I said to her, well, if that person's got to come from Houston, that person could be delayed. And this may put, that kind of wrench, that wild card that I didn't expect to happen to occur. And so the reason why I brought that up, and I'm bringing this alert to you, is because we have Tropical Storm / Hurricane Barry out in the Gulf. Now, those of you who may be living in California or seeing this, or even somebody, let's say, in Germany, okay, that's seeing this, you think NIMBY. NIMBY is not in my backyard. So you may assume that because the storm is not occurring where it's going to directly affect you, that you're going to escape the effects of this. And I'm here to tell you that would be an incorrect assumption. The reason being is because the storm is forecast to fall over between New Orleans and Lafayette, Louisiana. It has a bit moved to the west. This particular area of the United States is where we have 50% production of our gasoline, and this is where the majority of our offshore drilling platforms are. So even though the storm is not supposed to be, super monster waves and a bunch of high winds, it is going to be the amount of water. And what is so interesting about this is the fact that Mercury is going to be retrograding back into the sign of Cancer. Cancer rules water. Cancer rules the oceans. It rules lakes. It rules bodies of water. So, so there's going to be a lot of water associated with this storm. And therefore, if those containment tanks where they save the gasoline are flooded or damaged in some way, what does this mean? This means that in effect, the country could almost be crippled. It could bring almost transportation of all modes and anything that uses gasoline could be brought to a screeching halt. Why? Because there's going to be shortages. There may be no gasoline, or we're only going to be allowed to get like 2 gallons of gas and it's going to cost us $25 a gallon. So if you use ride sharing or you work for a ride sharing company, if you commute back and forth to work using a vehicle, if you're bi-coastal and you got to fly from the West Coast to the East Coast and back again, that may affect you. If you had plans on taking a vacation, if you were flying someplace, guess what? You may not be able to get there. If you plan on driving someplace, guess what? You may not be able to get there because you're not going to have no damn gasoline. So this is kind of an alert to say, those of you who depend on those modes of transportation that require gasoline. So even if you've got a landscaping business or a lawn care business or something of that nature, or you just got to commute back and forth to work, it would behoove you at this point in time, if you can, to go out and get yourself a couple of gas cans and fill your gas up. You know, put your gasoline to the side. You're going to have to maybe conserve your ability to travel. So that means cutting down on those really unnecessary trips that you may make. If you got to make a trip, go out and get everything done that you can get done, and everything else, try to do it online. Those types of things. If you've got packages waiting to come in the mail, the mail trucks may not be able to get gasoline. Emergency services, so police and fire departments and EMS may not be able to get there due to the fact that there's no gasoline. There's a shortage. And so this is how I use the astrology. I use it to show you how events can happen under certain transits that will affect you. No matter where you are. Everybody lives on planet Earth. We are all under the same sky. Therefore, when transits happen, they affect us on a global scale. So whether the event happens globally, regionally, locally, you can in one way or another be affected. So I put out the call to all my friends. I have a lot of friends who do a lot of commuting for work. Go get yourself some gas, get your gas cans filled up, put them to the side, because we really don't know the impact of what's going to happen. Now, if the storm moves over a bit more towards the west, that means that Houston is going to be hit, as well as where I am, which is Corpus Christi, Texas. We may not get it, depending. I mean, you never know. There's some high ridge pressure, low ridge pressures that's pushing it more and more to the west. So we shall see how that plays out. But that is my alert for you, to tell you to try to make alternate plans for travel, just in case, to think about conserving your trips, if you can. Go ahead and try to get those things that you're going to need. So if you need medication, if you can go get your medication, because you may not be able to get to the grocery store. You may realize when the storm hits, you got like less than a quarter tank of gas and you got to drive, 10 miles to the pharmacy to get your medications. So things of this nature. What do they say? Plan for the worst and hope for the best. In a situation like this, that's all that you can do. But I'm going to tell you, having been through Hurricane Harvey a few years ago, it can be pretty tough to we didn't have clean water. We didn't have ice, and we weren't able to get those things in because all the surrounding area was completely torn down. I mean, I was talking to one of the guys who came in, the electrical companies that were coming in to try to restore power. The guy was like, he'd never seen anything like it. He was like, there wasn't a tree or a building or a pole for miles. Everything had been completely leveled. So this is how things can occur underneath certain astrological transits. Make no mistake that he's retrograding back into the sign of Cancer. So we're looking at lots of water. We're looking at the home, the homeland, property, those kinds of things, family, friends. So try to check on your family, your friends, try to pull together if you find yourself in this situation, and try to plan for making alternate plans for moving around if that's what you have to do. So even for those of you who, let's say, may have to take the bus to work, if it comes to that, just keep in mind that that bus runs on gas. now, right? So that could mean delayed schedules or shortened schedules or not that many schedules. So you may have to figure out another alternate route. So try to have your plan A, B, C, and D. Y'all hear me say that all the time about Mercury retrograde. Try to have those plans in place so that if on the off chance that you find yourself being affected by these particular circumstances, you know, that you can keep doing whatever it is you got to do. It may be a limited doing, but it's doing nonetheless. And so with that being said, I hope those messages helped you. Oh, and I was talking about those people in Germany. Any gas that's coming, any gasoline products that are being refined here, they got to come there. That's going to affect you too. So, this is how it works. That's how I use the astrology. I hope you guys understood that. And so until next time, namaste. Forgot to tell you, remember you heard it here first. Okay, bye.